Hello everyone and welcome back to Exam Ignite YouTube channel. This is 5th semester's Environmental Studies Module 4, that is Global Environmental Issues, where we'll be discussing about the climate change, acid rain, ozone depletion, resettlement and rehabilitation of people, and environment toxicology. So which is the gas that is responsible for climate change? That is CO2. Ozone depletion is caused by CFCs. Acid rain is caused by SO2 and NO2. The global warming leads to all of the above: melting of glaciers, reduced rainfall, sea level rise. The groundwater depletion occurs due to the overpumping. Resettlement and rehabilitation relate to the displacement. Then environment toxicology deals with the chemical effects of living beings. Random pollution mainly affects the indoors. Fluoride problem is water causes the dental skeletal fluorosis, and the Paris Agreement was signed in 2015. Ozone layer protects the earth from the ultraviolet rays. Then acid rain affects all of the above. Main policy goal of the global environmental concerns are sustainable development. Climate change is primarily due to the human activity. Which country emits the highest CO2 globally is China. Ozone hole is absorbed mostly over the Antarctica. And which protocol banned the use of CFC is Montreal Protocol. The climate refugees are people displaced due to the environmental changes, and the deforestation contributes to the global warming by increasing the CO2 levels. And what is the term that is used for lowering the land surfaces due to the excessive groundwater pumping is subsidence? And what is the aquifer? A geographical information that stores. What is the primary cause of the groundwater depletion? Over extraction for agriculture. Which of the following methods is commonly used to discharge the groundwater? Rainwater harvesting. Then which impact does groundwater depletion have on ecosystem? Habitat destruction and reduced wetland areas. What is the primary greenhouse gas responsible for global warming? Carbon dioxide. Which sector is largest contributor to global greenhouse gas emission is energy production? Which of the following is potential consequences of climate change? That is increased frequency of extreme weather events. Which chemicals are primarily responsible for formulation of acid rain? Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. What is a term that describes the process by which acid rain affects the acidity of the soil and water bodies is acidification. The rapid reduction in the groundwater table in several regions in India is primarily the result of overexploitation of groundwater for irrigation. The most influential driver for increasing the water demand from the domestic sector in India is pollution and growth. Which of the following continents receive the highest precipitation per unit area is South America? Which race has the highest percentage of the total annual replenishable groundwater resources in India is Uttar Pradesh. What reservoir holds the greatest amount of water bodies? The ocean, glaciers. What is the water soaked in the groundwater called? It is infiltration. In which part of the groundwater system are the pore space not filled with water? Zone of aeration. What is the aquifer? A reservoir of the groundwater. What is the artesian well? It is any well where the water rises above the aquifer itself. Then groundwater is a source of trouble at which place it is slopes, and associated protection of rising water table is a depletion of salinity of water. The water is which is the state of downward movement under the gravity's Vadose water. What is the upper surface of the ozone saturation called as water table? The climate change according to the Sustainable Development Goal 13, the biggest threat towards the development is climate change. The greenhouse effect is the rise in the surface temperature of Earth. How much do we want to limit the global warming to do in terms of the global temperature increases 2 degrees Celsius? Which of the following cause global warming? Carbon dioxide. How many percentage of carbon dioxide increase in the atmosphere since pre-industrial times is about 30%. What is the full form of UNFCCC with respect to the global warming convention? It is United Nations Framework Convention on the Climate Change. Who measures the global warming rate? Climatologist. Which of the following results takes place due to the global warming? Changes in the rainfall. Which causes the global warming? Radiative forcing. How many human activities are influenced in the global warming? By changing the radiative balance governing the earth. Which of the following is an anthropogenic radiative forcing of climate? It is aerosols. Which of the following land uses cause global warming? Surface reflectance. Changes in the composition of the atmosphere is an example of external forcing. What is the main reason for melting of ice sheets? Is global warming. Which of the following is the effect of global warming? Desertification. Which is the purpose in the functional in removing the carbon dioxide from atmosphere? Photosynthesis. Mainly ozone sphere is depleted by CFCs. This is not possible. Adverse effect of global warming, an increase of UVB radiation. Correct descending order of relative contribution of various greenhouse gases. Total global warming is carbon dioxide, methane, CFCs, nitrogen oxide. CFCs have a continuing effect on the ozone layer as atoms forced by them only act as an catalyst in the reaction, causing the degradation of the ozone. CFCs are crucial in global warming along with the role in the ozone depletion as it absorbs the earthshine in 10 micro region. Which of the following is not a major greenhouse gas, that is ozone? Ultraviolet radiation from the sunlight causes a reaction producing the ozone. Sulfurs of the atmospheric carbon dioxide causes an increase in the greenhouse effect as the carbon dioxide is opaque to infrared rays. Checking of re-radiating heat by atmospheric carbon dioxide, dust, methane, ozone is known as greenhouse effects. Acid rain, it is below which the following pH is rain regarding as acid rain is 5.6. Glass containers are generally not preferred for the sampling rainwater because glass containers affect the pH of the rainwater. Which of the following gases are main contributors of acid rain? Sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide. What does the term liming mean? Application of magnesium and calcium rich substances to soil. Which place in the India receives the highest annual rainfall is Ram. Who discovered the phenomena of acid rain? Robert Angus Smith. Which of the following is a natural contributors to sulfur dioxide in atmosphere? All of the above. Volcanic eruption, sea sprays, decaying vegetation. Which of the following gases is responsible for the yellowing of the Taj Mahal? Organic carbon, black carbon, brown carbon. The adverse effects of the acid rain are killing insects, corrosion of steel structures, causing paint to peel. Carbon dioxide and water is an air react together to form the carbonic acid. Then following are the types of acid deposition, that is wet deposition and dry deposition. The acid rain leach away magnesium and the calcium. What is the pH value of the rain in industrial area? 4 to 5. In atmosphere, what carries air pollutants to other places and other countries? This is prevailing winds. Clean rainwater has a pH value of 5 to 6, which makes it slightly acidic. What are the sources of air pollutants in atmosphere? It is industries. Which of the following power stations produce sulfur dioxide? It is coal firing power stations. Acids in the rain react with the calcium compounds in the stones to create the gypsum. In cultivated following may be added to increase the ability of the soil to keep the pH stable. It is limestone. The hydronium ions of acid rain mobilizes the toxins such as aluminum. Sulfur dioxide is produced by volcanic eruption. Ozone layer depletion. It is an what is the average concentration of that of ozone should less than 10 ppm. Who discovered ozone layer is given. Which of the following devices can be used to measure the ozone in the stratosphere from the ground? It is spectrophotometer. The ozone layer observes the range of wavelengths of the sun's radiation, 200 nanometer to 315 nanometer. Who discovered the formation of ozone from the photochemical reaction? Dobson. Then between what altitudes is the ozone layer found in the highest concentration, 20 to 40 kilometer? Which of the following UV radiation is responsible for causing the sunburns and skin cancer? UVB. In which season is the ozone found at its maximum level in the northern hemisphere? Spring. When was the ozone hole discovered? In 1984. The ozone hole is a phenomenon that has occurred in the none of the mentioned region. Which of the following chemicals are responsible for the depletion of stratospheric ozone layer? All of the above. What does EESE stands for? Equivalent Effective Stratospheric Chlorine. The Montreal Protocol bans the production of which of the following chemical substance? Carbon tetrachloride, halogens, trichloroethane, CFCs. Which of the following action takes place in the formulation of ozone? Action of daylight on oxygen. How many oxygen particles are there in the every atom of ozone? 3. Why ozone within the upper environment is important? It protects the earth from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. Which of the following is threat to ozone sphere? CFCs. Increase in the carbon dioxide level results in the ozone layer depletion. Upper atmosphere is a layer of atmosphere whose ozone is very vital for all the vegetation. Chlorine atoms released from the CFC's molecules are broken from UV radiation. The full form of CS is chlorofluorocarbon, which the first place where scientists found the thinning of ozone layer is in the above Antarctica. The treaty that was signed in 1987 for the protection of ozone layer is Montreal Protocol. Methyl chloroform, this causes the ozone layer depletion. The compound which is used in the fire extinguisher causes ozone depletion is halogens. Then comes the environmental toxicology. Here it is a study of chemical interactions of organisms and environment. Hazardous estimation in ecotoxicology is based on the bioaccumulation. Ecotoxicology is based on the toxicology of chemicals. Acute aquatic toxicity is measured in EC. Chronic toxicity is based on the NOEC. Then, according to the TURI, the tool that is used for determining the aquatic toxicity is P20ASYS, that is Pollution Prevention Options Assessment System. The toxicity ranking from the ToxPI is based on the suborganism test. QSAR, quantitative structural activity relationship models, provide the ecotoxicity and endpoint. Then zebrafish species is used for screening of chemicals. So this completes the module 4 of the environmental studies. Please do like, share and subscribe to Exam Ignite YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.